Okay, hopefully we are live. This is the first time I have ever done a live stream on YouTube, so hopefully there'll be no technical problems. Seems okay so far. If there's any problems, let me know in the chat. Otherwise, I've got no idea. Okay, looks like we're live. Cool. Bit of a delay. Oh, cool. Car Collectibles UK. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Cool. I appreciate you letting me know. Thank you. Right, so a few minutes till we start. I just started it a little bit early because I just wanted to make sure that it was all working okay. I'm using OBS and it's linked up to YouTube. And yeah, obviously the camera, the microphone. So I wanted to make sure it was right, working okay. Apparently I've got a bit rate problem. Open widget, whatever that means. I recommend using. I've got no idea. Oh well. Yeah, first time doing this, so yeah, if you guys have any questions that you want me to answer about Amazon, business, whatever, let me know. Hopefully we'll have enough content to sort of last an hour here. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. If you're just getting started on Amazon, maybe you have some questions. Maybe you've been doing Amazon for a short while. You might have a question about that, and if you're an experienced seller, and you want to grow, I can answer questions about that as well. So, Card Collectibles has asked. Well, firstly, I'm going to say thanks everyone for joining. It's now 8 p.m, so I really appreciate you guys taking the time to jump on and join. I really appreciate you showing the support. And yeah, I'll get into the questions, and hopefully we'll have a good time here. So I'll keep looking that way. I need to just keep looking ahead. Cool. Let me just get up my chat. So, Car Collectibles UK, thanks for the question. So the first question has to be, how do you manage to source enough product to make around 10k per month profit? So I've been doing this for just under 2 years now. So my first sale was July 6th, 2022. Was when I did my first sale, and that was an Amazon to Amazon lead, and that was a hose lock timer. If anyone remembers those, when hose locks were a massive profit from Amazon. I remember joking with people saying that some people were making so much money from them they should get a Lamborghini in the hose lock yellow. And yeah, to answer your question though, it just takes time to just learning a specific category, and just takes time to build up, and just learning how to read the keeper charts and getting better at sourcing. There's obviously multiple ways to source. Like Amazon to Amazon used to be like a huge thing you could do. That's kind of died off now a little bit. But you can do, my favorite one is newsletter sourcing. So, you sign up to a bunch of newsletters, or you can use salesgazer.com, which is free. And you can sign up to newsletters there, and just looking every day for what offers there are on the sites that you're searching, and just doing that basically and over. And just being consistent, and you'll learn over time what looks good, what looks bad. And I mean, one big tip I've got for people is everyone seems to kind of go in the same area. Like they look for the same sales ranks. They look for the same sort of profit margins, and they look at the same categories. And there's so much more to Amazon than just like health and beauty and toys and video and games, and looking at 30% ROI and looking for products that cost £10 to £50. There's so much different variety of things you can sell, and obviously the more annoying and awkward it is to source or sell, the better it could be. It means there'll be fewer people doing it. So, but yeah, I don't know, it just happens, I guess. You just practice, and then before you know it, you've been making 10k a month. Yeah, so hopefully that answered your question. And to be honest, just to finalise that, So my current strategy right now is not selling like high volumes. So, if I'm making £500 in one day, which I did like 2 or 3 days ago, I only think I sold like 20 items or 25 items. Whereas other people do different strategies where they're making, a very small amount of money and doing huge volumes, which is nothing wrong with that. There's so many ways to do this business. It's just insane. But obviously it's a lot of work to do that anyway. So cool. So Cargyle Source, respect for showing your net profit. No problem. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm not here to lie. There's no need for me to do it. I just show what it is. And I've gotten to the point now where I've got decent profit. But I've shown my results in the past. I was happy when I was making £2,000 a month on Amazon, and now that seems like a long while ago. And obviously there are expenses. So when I do the STK screenshot, obviously you need to take off expenses on there, and I do that in my sort of monthly video where I talk about my subscription costs, which are significant, to be fair. I'm in a lot of Discord groups and things like that. You've got obviously your costs like shipping, your reimbursements, things like that kind of add up and take off a decent chunk, to be honest. So I think last month my sort of net profit was like, or before expenses was something like 9,500, and after expenses it came down to about 8,500. So yeah, but you got to factor those in. But it's part of doing business, and just don't try to whack up the expenses. That's a mistake I've made in the past, is having too many expenses, and then when you have a bad month, it's really depressing that you're paying out all this money to other people and you're left with no money for yourself. So that's definitely a depressing thing, and I've had that in the past. Cool. So we've got a question from Elliot. With very slow sales per month, how do you tell it sells? Well, you need to look at multiple things. So you've got, like if you're using SellerAmp, it will give you like a sales estimate. Obviously Amazon, they show you if how many it sells per month, but that only kicks in if it's 50 or more. So it's like 50, 100, and then I think 150, 200, and then I think it's increments of 100 after that. So obviously that's not going to help you, but that's a good little tip for things. If it's a slower seller though, there's two kind of good ways. Looking at, obviously the SellerAmp is one, but looking at Keeper, and you're looking at the drops. And what the drops are, the sales ranks drops. And what happens with anything in Amazon is the sales rank will keep climbing up, and then when they get a sale, it will drop down. So, because obviously the way it works, the way Amazon, the sales rank works, is the thing that sells the most gets to the top of the list. It's like a Google ranking search. The most popular website, is number one on Google, and the most popular product that sells the most is is the highest rank on Amazon. So you can see the drops in the sales, and from that you can then determine roughly the sales per month. So that's how you do it. And there's also Jungle Scout as well, although it doesn't work that well for really low sales per month. But it'll give you an idea. You can put in the marketplace, the category, and the sales rank for that category, and it will give you what it expects it to be. So, but the best thing really is looking at Keeper. That's the best way. Looking at the drops, looking at the offers maybe as well, seeing if people have dropped off. That doesn't guarantee a sale, but if people have had like one in stock and then they've got no in stock, then maybe that's an indicator that it's selling as well. So I'm trying to think what else I can answer with that one. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it on that one, I think. So we've got what's the quickest way to calculate discounts like 3 for 2? Do you always add to basket and use apps like Cooper? Yeah, so unless you can do it in your head, I guess the quickest way is just to add it to the basket and just see. And it's also good to do that as well, just to confirm that the site is working correctly, or if it's not working correctly. Sometimes the discounts, they stack, or like discount codes can stack, or maybe the website's doing something wrong. And sometimes it works in your favour, sometimes it doesn't. Or, sometimes a product might be, although it says it's available for 3 for 2, when you add it to basket, it turns out it's ineligible, which can happen. So yeah, just adding it to basket, and that way you've got the final confirmation that what you're actually doing when you check out is actually correct, and the correct amount. So yeah, that's what I do, and I use Cooper. Yeah, Cooper's a really good extension. So anyone who doesn't have that, it's just a coupon extension for Chrome. And it has some really good coupons on there. There's other ones as well. There's like Fatbird, there's Honey, there's all these different ones out there. I have them all installed, but to be honest, I use Cooper 90% of the time. But if I'm going to buy something and I'm like, okay, this is really good, I've got a good code with Cooper, then I might just so I keep them on Chrome, but like disabled, and then what I'll do is I'll activate the other ones, just see if there's an extra coupon, just to confirm, and then if there is, I'll use it, otherwise I won't, and then I'll deactivate them. Because the last thing you want is like 5 extensions on there, all popping up every time you go to a website. They're really annoying. So I keep Cooper on 90% of the time, and then I add the other ones in when I need to. So, and then you can also get the coupons by Googling as well. So obviously that's like using the extensions is like the low-hanging fruit. So if you can like trawl through Google, find a coupon code that no one else has got, maybe going to like page 5, page 10 of Google, find that sort of 15-20% discount code when no one else is using 10%, then that gives you like an edge that you can use to have a lower cost of goods. So, but yes, I do use Coupet. Excuse me. Right. What would you say is the easiest category for beginners to be? I started in Jan 2024, and with all the toy sales going around, I went quite heavy into Lego and other toys that were massively reduced. Yeah, it's an interesting one. What category do I suggest? I mean, the one thing I say to people generally is, what are you interested in? Because that will help. I could say to you, women's clothing is a really good category to get into, but that might be something you've got no interest in whatsoever. So getting into that might be really boring. So it's always good to try and get into something you're interested in. So that's the first thing I'll say, or have some interest in anyway. I mean, Lego is a great one, but Lego, you kind of need to buy it and hold it and ideally wait for retirement. There are people out there that literally make a fortune, like hundreds of thousands of pounds every year from doing Lego. And what they'll do is they'll buy it in bulk, they'll store it until it retires, and then maybe 6 months, a year after it retires, they can then sell it on Amazon. And obviously you've got to get through that pain period where you've got to hold the first batch that you buy waiting for retirement. But then after you've got started, you can keep churning, keep selling the ones that have just retired, keep replenishing those ones with new ones, and just keep churning it and building. So, and then the other tip I'll give you with Lego retirement, just quickly, is always try and buy it on sale. So yeah, if you can, if it's retired and you have to buy it at RRP, maybe it's okay, but generally the profits are made on the discount. So, and then what actual category do I suggest? Yeah, it's difficult to say. There's so many categories. Like if you just look around everyone does health and beauty, toys and games, but I'm talking to a microphone. What about getting into audio equipment? I've got a light up there that's like a studio light. You can see up there perfumes. They do very well. Perfumes is good. Good category. Good category to get into. I'm just looking over here. I've got door handle on my door, obviously. Light fittings. I was actually just looking on what was it? Empire Flippers or some website flipping platform, and there was a guy selling his private label Amazon business for $2.7 million, and it was in around the lighting sort of fixtures category. So interesting. So yeah, just have a look around and just try to be different. That's the main thing. And if you're going to get into a saturated category, let's say you're going to get into health and beauty, maybe go for higher end beauty that no one wants to touch, the ones that cost £50-100. I don't know really. I don't recommend health and beauty at all, unless you can get it kind of wholesale. But yeah, I'll have a think as the video goes on about what category I would recommend for beginners. But my general answer is normally find what you're interested in, because that's what you're gonna be hopefully getting really deep into these categories, learning the sites, learning the sales cycles, learning the brands, and if you're interested in it, then that really helps. So, yeah. Cool, but you can still do toys as well. It's no problem. Now I'm looking at other categories, but ideally want to invest in quick movers, not so fussed with high ROI. Yeah, I mean, then I guess you do need to find a category that is kind of fast, and that's one reason why people liked health and beauty. It's kind of quick. Grocery can be good potentially, but yeah, it's difficult really. Like, what sells quickly? I mean, vitamins, all those kind of things. It's difficult to get into that category. I mean, we all want to get into stuff that can sell quick. And one mistake I actually made was watching a lot of the American YouTubers who do FBA. There's like Flip for Miles, Buy Box Bandits, Duke does Amazon. They're really good, by the way. You can learn a lot from them. But they say like, oh, you should be churning your stock every 3 months or every 2 months. It's just not possible in the UK. In America, the sales ranks are just so much higher. The sales volumes are just insane. So for something that sells in the UK, maybe 50 a month, that would be 300 or 350 in America. So you can churn your stock way quicker in America. And I was trying to emulate that. I was getting frustrated because I wasn't able to churn my inventory within 3 months. But actually, I think the strategy for the UK, the best one, is literally just to be patient and hold. I think that genuinely is a really good strategy. Again, once you get over that first pain point of holding stock for a while, it's just a constant cycle of selling the ones you've held for 3 months, and you're buying new ones, and then there's new ones keep coming in, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I don't know any good categories that can sell quickly apart from like vitamins. I mean, there's probably loads of them. I just can't think off the top of my head. But I'll have a think about good beginner categories though. And you're not focused on high ROI. I mean, the reason people say look at the higher, when I say higher ROI, looking at like 30% is kind of what people say, and I think it's a good like guideline. And it gives you like a margin. So if something tanks, and you need to sell it quickly, at least you've got some buffer. If you're going in at something that's like 5% ROI, you don't have much room to play if the listing tanks or if Amazon jumps on or loads of other people jump on. So it's always good to have that buffer. And when I source things, by the way, I look at the keeper chart, the history, and I look at like what I can make now, but what's it done in the past? Like what's my downside? And my downside, I'm happy to be at £0 basically. If my downside's 0, my worst case is like making no money, then that's kind of fine, as long as I'm actually got a good chance of making money on that product. But if everything goes bad, it goes terrible, and I end up breaking even on it, then it's not so bad, or making a small loss. So, hopefully this is all working okay still. I've got a warning up here saying, I don't know. Anyway, hopefully the stream's working okay. Excuse me. So Elliot's asking, when finding a niche, is it just about buying the test buys and trying out different products that you think most people would pass on? Yeah, test buys are tricky because a lot of the good items are not in stock for very long. So you kind of need to buy it there and then I guess hope that it restocks in the future at that price. But, a good majority don't. So test buys can be kind of tricky. I'm not a huge fan of doing test buys personally. If I see a good deal, and once you get good at like looking at the keeper charts and understanding if a product's good or not, then I just go all in and buy it. So I don't really do test buys. I'm trying to think if I've done a test buy. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, saying that, if you look over there, I've got those toothbrushes. They're somewhat a test buy that I bought from Amazon. But yeah, generally don't do test buys. So, yeah, I don't know. I just go deep on the products if it looks good. So, and then trying out different products that you think most people would pass on. I guess if you test buying just a category, then it's okay. If you just like, I want to get into this category, see what it's like light fittings, for example, see if I get any sales. That's fine. If you like getting your feet wet in the category, that's no problem. But once you find a good product, you're just gonna need to pounce, especially if it's just on a big sale. And this again comes down to the learning a category. Then you'll learn what sites there are, and then obviously you'll know when they do sales as well. So you can know that this light fitting here is normally £100, but every 3 months they reduce it to £25. So you can stock up, every 3 months or every 6 months, or whatever. Maybe it's a yearly sale, and that way you can know what's a good price, what's a bad price, what's a bad price, and just learn over time. So, and different products that you'd think most people would pass on. Yeah, and like I said before, I think it's really good to try and think outside the box and do what people are not willing to do. So, yeah, I had some 3-in-1 printers that I got from an Amazon to Amazon deal, and a lot of people passed on them because they were like 25 kilograms each, which is obviously quite heavy, and they turned out to be I think I made £75-80 profit on them. Just sent them to the prep centre. perhaps I dealt with them, and they charged me like £1 an item. So let them deal with it. But yeah, suck if I get a return. But yeah. Bought, not built. What's the biggest lesson you learned from losses, problems you faced while growing your business? Just making sure you understand the keeper chart. So the worst loss I've had was I bought a load of Triton shower holders. I think I bought, I can't remember how many I bought now. I think they were like £6 each, and I bought 150, 200 of them. And the price just and it looked like they were going to sell for like £15-20, so I was like, oh, these look really good, and I went deep on them, but the price just never went back up. And every time I sold one as well, it would always get returned because apparently the size was not right or something, and people just weren't sure about the size of their shower rail or something. So every time I did get a sale and I was losing like £3-4 an item, it'd then get returned, and I'd incur fees on like returns. So in the end, I took them all down the tip and just said to the guys down there, throw them in the bin or do what you want with them. I just had to take the L on those, and I think I lost about £900 on those. So just making sure you can read the keeper charts, I guess, before you start going really deep on products. Read the keeper charts, understand the history of the product, look at the price history, see how the price reacts to lots of sellers jumping on. So just being sure. And if you're ever unsure, you can always ask someone else who's more experienced. You can ask me, ask whoever, maybe in a mod of a Discord group. Just get their opinion on a product. You don't have to obviously give them the where you're buying it from, but you can send them the ASIN, and they can hopefully analyze it for you and give you their opinion. So that's probably the biggest mistake I made. I think really. What else? And then I guess another thing that comes to mind is just not being on top of admin from the beginning, and then I'm still terrible at admin, but yeah, make sure you're on top of your admin from the start, and that way you know if if something's not been delivered, or when it comes to doing your VAT or your taxes, that you've got your invoices there, your VAT invoices. So just staying on top of that as well. That's probably my biggest weakness in business, is admin. So hello, Nicholas, how's it going? Thanks for joining. So for those of you that don't know, Nikos does he's a fellow YouTuber who does Amazon. He's got a group, Level 60. And yeah, we do a podcast every few weeks talking about Amazon and business and life, and it's awesome. So you should guys check that out. But yeah, hi. Right, what have we got here? Got you. Do you avoid big name stores like Boots and look for lesser known stores? So I'll start with that. I know you're using Boots as an example, but obviously Boots you can't really use. It's like the ultimate beginner site is Boots, because they don't let you order any kind of quantities. If you order more than 3 or 5, they ban you basically. So it's a good one to start with, I guess, if you're a brand new person. But then, as you progress in Amazon, you realise you need to get VAT invoices, and some sites don't issue VAT invoices, which is a pain in the butt. So the first thing I'm making sure is that obviously I can get the products that are profitable, but also that for me anyway, because I'm VAT registered, that the website either pays VAT for the first thing, so they're actually in the United Kingdom, or if they're abroad, they actually do pay VAT, so I can claim that back, and then also issue a VAT invoice. And to be honest, I do order from a variety of sites. If you can find a little niche mom and pop site that has good products and you're sure they're legitimate as well, then you can always do that. The only downside is if Amazon hits you with an authenticity claim and you send them an invoice from some tiny little store, they may not accept it as real. Whereas if you order from a bigger site, they will. So that's, I guess, the downside. But yeah, I source from all sorts of places. But my main place right now is actually a huge website. I won't tell you what it is, but it's a big site. So all sorts of places. Let's have a look. And then, what was the other question? Do you search the whole site or just check the sales from newsletters and focus on big sales? Yeah, because most of what you're doing is you're not buying stuff at RRP. You're buying stuff that's on sale. And ideally it's on sale for only a short period. So you're looking for those big sales, those discount codes. that's where the money's made. That's where the arbitrage opportunity comes in, is that they've put this thing on sale and it's still the normal price on Amazon, and you're able to pick it up and sell it on Amazon. So that's not where 90% of the deals come from. I'd say 95% of the deals, you're looking for a sale, a discount code. And ideally one that no one else has found, but obviously it's quite difficult. And it doesn't have to be a big sale necessarily, but yeah, it's just looking for the sales. And then, obviously once you get good at certain sites, you'll learn the sales cycles, you'll know when they're doing big sales or small sales. Like Latino, for example, they do all sorts of different sales here and there. And then, I bought things from them in the past thinking, oh, this is a great discount at 15%, but it turns out actually they often do it at 20%. So I bought it for, a little bit higher than I should have. But yeah, it's all about getting the discounts, getting it below RRP. What if Amazon requests an invoice for something you buy from a shop? So I'm not an RA expert, I'll be honest. I don't think I've ever had this. I think you can still submit the receipt, but you need to make sure that it's actually, on the receipt, actually kind of mentions what the product is. So sometimes you get a receipt from a store and it's just a very generic line item on there. It might just say like vitamins or something like that, rather than saying a specific brand. So that might get you into trouble there. But I'll be honest, I've never run into this problem myself. So yeah, it's a tricky one really. I think you just have to submit the receipts that you've got and just hope for the best on that one. So yeah. Awesome. Nicholas is packing. What are you packing? That's the question. Do you bother going listings where it sells 30 times per month but already has 60 in stock? Or would off competitive sellers with the buy box? So, if let's say something sells 30 a month and there's 60 in stock, then yeah, I jump on that because it's only 2 months worth of stock. And why can't you get a share of that? Why not? You can look at the buy box percentage and see kind of where that's being shared. And maybe you can come in and get a decent chunk of that buy box percentage. But yeah, I would. You need to look at obviously how much is in stock. Looks like you're doing the right thing, looking at like, oh, it sells X per month, there's 60 in stock. And be careful with the in stock, by the way, because people are going to add a limit, which kind of hides their stock, but it gives you an idea. But yeah, I would jump on that because I tend to be someone who kind of holds stuff. I've got replens, but I also I'm sort of a holder of stock for 3-6 months. So just waiting for the price to come back. But yeah, I'd happily jump on something like that and just check the buy box percentage, the sharing. Is ungating problematic for beginners? From Andy. Yeah, it is. Amazon are just more cautious about new Amazon accounts. So it basically depends, I think anyway, on how old your Amazon account is and also whether you've got under a certain number of sales. So if you've got under like 100 sales and your account's less than 3 months old, you will find it more difficult to ungate. And I ran into this when I first started, because I think basically within like the first few weeks of me doing Amazon, there was Amazon Prime Day, and I ended up buying 1,200 Tommy Tippy baby bottles for a great price, and they're going to be really profitable. And Amazon maybe ungate like Tommy Tippy, and then they maybe ungate baby feeding, and then they made me ungate one more category. So I went through all these steps, and then they finally ungated that me, and they said, oh no, you can't sell this category. But then, I think a few months later or 6 weeks later, it just became available for me. So they're just a little bit more cautious on some categories for newer sellers, like baby feeding. Probably, I can understand why they're a little bit cautious about letting new sellers sell into that category, But that's just more about, I guess it's not really ungating that's the problem. It's just some categories are a bit more strict than others. So you should still be able to ungate the same as anyone else, as long as you're kind of doing the right steps, which is submitting the correct invoices and stuff. And when I first started as well, I'd take pictures of the products and then line them up on my desk, the 10 items, print out the invoice, put that on the desk as well, take a picture with that. Because sometimes and even when you do that, sometimes they say, oh, you haven't got the stock in. These guys just don't know what they're doing. And I'm like, I sent you a picture of it on my desk, so why are you saying I haven't got the stock? But yeah, that's the most frustrating thing about Amazon and ungating, is that the guys who are reviewing the ungates, I guess they just take like 10, 15, 20 seconds to look at it, and they don't necessarily speak the best English or whatever. They're just VAs in a different country, and they don't, obviously overworked. And sometimes it's just easier just to click no than it is to actually review something properly. So, but yeah, if you have any problems with ungating, you can always reach out to me. I can give you some tips. I appreciate that, thank you. Quality info, cheers. No problem at all. Do you handle when you find a good deal, but only other sellers are at Amazon like new? So wait, do you find a good deal, but only other seller at Amazon like new? I'm not quite sure what you're asking. How do you handle when you find a good deal, but the other sellers are like new or Amazon Europe? Yeah, that could be a good opportunity there, because the whole point behind this is Amazon Prime. People want things next day delivery. So the whole reason why Amazon works is because people are lazy and they have paid for their Prime and they want to order something at 7 p.m. that evening and get it at 9 a.m. the next day, whatever, next day delivery. So if you can offer that service, then absolutely, that's great. And I would jump. That's an opportunity there. Definitely, there's an opportunity, because Amazon EU is going to take 2-3 days to deliver. Maybe someone doesn't want a like new item. Maybe they want it as a gift, or a lot of people just don't like the used items. So if you can jump in there, that's a great opportunity. Absolutely. And it could be you've actually found a deal maybe where it's not available anymore. So maybe it's been discontinued, and you've got some new stock maybe. There's people that do that. They can buy electronics that are now, like as an example, that are no longer made. Let's say it's a camera, for example, and you can't get it new anymore. And if you're able to find a source of that new, maybe on eBay, maybe somewhere else, then people, if their camera dies and they really like this model of camera, they don't want a new one. I think someone like my dad, for example, if he had a camera that he really liked, he wouldn't be interested in like a fancy new one. He'd want the one that he's good at, used to. So he'd probably buy that, and there's an opportunity there. So yeah, I would definitely go for those. I'm not sure what you mean by handle it, but yeah, I would definitely go for those. It's a good opportunity there. There's so many opportunities if you think about it on Amazon. It's kind of insane. Nikos is doing eBay orders and unpacking private label. Obviously, you got a big shipment in then. Yes, by the way, there's sourcing software called Source Mogul that shows suppliers' historical price data. Okay, cool. I didn't know about Source Mogul. I know about Arbisource. I've used that a little bit. Tactical Arbitrage. I didn't actually realise they save the historical data, which is really good. So I'll check that out. So that's very useful, because that way you can see, it's like Camel that people use, which is just Keeper for non-Amazon sellers, where you can see the history of an Amazon product and see whether you're getting a good price. So that's always good. I'll check that out. Appreciate that. What's your opinion on software like Arbisource? I personally don't like it, but I know people out there who do use it successfully, to the point where they at least make a bit of money on their subscription. I found the mismatching of products really annoying, and you probably spend more time trawling through all the mismatches and stuff than you just sourcing yourself. But in theory, it should be great. But then at the same time, though, if it's really good and everyone used it, then all those items would just tank anyway. And that's what you'll probably find as well, that a lot of those ones tank immediately. Again, you can use the strategy of holding them, but I prefer to just find them myself. So I don't really like them. But I'll be honest, I didn't give them a massive chance. I've used Tactical Arbitrage, I used Arbisource, and I was not impressed with them. So I'll admit I didn't give them the best opportunity. But everything they found for me was mismatched and just rubbish. So, but you potentially could be an opportunity there to use those. But any kind of tool like that kind of ends up kind of killing those items, I think. So, yeah, it's a tricky one, really. But no, I'm not a fan myself. At what stage of your business did you decide to take this full time? So I actually quit my job way before I did Amazon. So I was a software engineer for a startup, and I obviously worked from home during COVID, and then my boss wanted me to go back to work. And I know once I got that taste of working from home, I basically just said no, I'm not interested, and we couldn't agree. My boss is a little bit old school. He likes people in the office, even though I'm just sat at a computer all day. And we just couldn't agree, so I just left. And then I twiddled my thumbs for maybe 6 to 8 weeks, deciding what to do. I wanted to do a business of some description, and eventually got pushed into Amazon. I didn't want to get into Amazon because I was worried about getting banned. Obviously, you hear these horror stories about Amazon, banning people, and you're screwed basically. So I was a little bit worried about getting into it because, it's like I said, Amazon can ban you, I guess. As long as you follow the rules, you should be fine. But it's always that one thing that could happen, and then your entire business is kaput, basically. So, and then you hear some horror stories about people who, for some reason, their account gets like restricted or banned, and they've sent like a huge number of items in, let's say 10,000 items, and Amazon then return all those items to them, and they cost 60p an item or 60 cents an item. So then you're landed with like a £6,000 bill, and then your account gets unlocked, but you've had to have all those items returned, and then you've got to repack them, send them back, and also pay Amazon the £6,000. So yeah, but yeah. So yeah, I just went. I had some money saved up and stuff, so I was able just to go straight into it. Cool. But I do recommend, by the way, if you can, just to add on to that, obviously don't quit your job first if you can avoid it. Keep your job, do Amazon, but once you feel like you can progress and you're getting enough to cover your bills, take the chance, I guess. And once you've got 8 hours a day to commit to Amazon, you'll probably find, like, there's a guy who I chat to a lot called Adam. Shout out to Adam, and he went full time, and now he's just skyrocketing on his results because you can spend so much more time on it. So yeah, if that's something you want to do anyway, so it's sometimes worth a chance. You can always get another job, probably. How much stock do you have in terms of cost of goods, would you say? So right now I've got roughly 60,000 cost of goods in Amazon. And then because I'm really lazy, I've probably got another 20,000 maybe sat in my apartment, of like returns, and I've got these perfumes here, there, that I've been sat there for months because I'm just too lazy to book a UPS thing for them. So yeah, but yeah, in Amazon right now, 55, 60k, something like that. And would you say you need to do 10k a month profit? So I've created a kind of a chart. I'm trying to think how I can add this in. I don't know, maybe if you DM me on Discord afterwards, I'll send you this thing, and it basically shows you how much you need to spend each month to make a certain amount of money. So if you're running at 30% ROI and you want to make £10,000 a month, you need to be spending like 30,000 every month. So that's right, yeah, 30,000. So 33% of 30,000, roughly 10,000. So that's what you need to kind of be spending every month to make that kind of money. But obviously you're not going to be able to sell it all in 1 month. Realistically, you need kind of 3 months worth of like money. Obviously some of that will sell and you'll get some of it back, but you're not going to sell your entire inventory in 1 month. So yeah, you need a decent amount of money to make 10,000. But the current items I sell right now are, so obviously that's if you're running at 30% ROI. The current things I'm selling right now, I'm running at like 60 to 80% ROI, so I need a lot less money. And that's just something I've discovered over time, that I can just get these particular items that I sell and get higher ROIs. So it requires less capital. Do you ever go through hours of sourcing but don't find anything? What's happening? That's what's happening. Yeah, so a lot of people are struggling right now with sourcing. Like Q1 has been really tough for people. I'll be honest, I've been a bit lazy on sourcing the past like 6 weeks or so. I've just been replenishing because I've got such good products. I've done a tiny bit of sourcing, but when I do look, I do tend to find something, yes. And it all comes down to me just looking on the newsletters and seeing that like a sale's on, I know I'm going to pick something up. So yeah, and I've passed up on things. Like there was one thing I was looking at, which was a mountain bike. I was like, wow. Because here's a great example, right? There was a site that was selling a mountain bike for 100 and I think it was like 110 after all the discounts, which is like a crazy deal for a men's full-size mountain bike. And I was thinking, well, no one wants to sell. Who sells mountain bikes on Amazon? Like, they're big, they're bulky, they're heavy, they're expensive normally. I was like, that could be a great category to get into, because no one will want to do that. But then I kind of figured that I will realise it's actually very expensive to ship them into Amazon. And then in the end, I just bottled it a little bit. So I live in a top floor flat, so I wouldn't get them delivered here. They'd have to go to my locker or prep centre. I wasn't sure how my prep centre would feel about me ordering like 100 bikes to them, and in the end I kind of bottled it a little bit. But they were selling for like 300 on Amazon, and obviously that's kind of a seasonal product, so it'd be selling around summertime probably, where you get the kind of peak sales. But yeah, I kind of regret that one a little bit. But yeah, but no, I tend to generally find something when I look. So because I'm looking at, when I see the sale, I kind of know there's something there. And I'm just doing a lot of replens right now as well. So yeah, cool. You guys got any more questions? You got some good questions so far. It's been awesome. Been enjoying it. So yeah, Nikos is packing his private label. Yeah, I bet your wife was very happy. I don't know what it is, but you said it was bulky, so or big anyway. So yeah, interesting. That's cool. But yeah, if you guys got any more questions, let me have a look in Discord quickly, see if anyone's got any questions. I don't think so. But yeah, guys. Okay, here we go. No, we haven't got any more. Yeah, guys, if you've got any more questions, feel free to ask. So let me go back to thinking about those categories for beginners. I mean, yeah, I guess a good advice for beginners is just to do what most people do, and that's kind of sell everything. Ideally, you can go straight into a category that you know, but when you start out, you're kind of learning still. So that's why a Discord group's so good, because you can kind of learn what people sell, what kind of brands they sell, what categories they sell, and you can just get your feet wet and learn through like what Discord groups post. And once you kind of get you get some knowledge, learning about reading keeper charts and things like that, then you can then start kind of niching down and specializing. So, that's what I'd probably say is like a good thing to start off as a beginner. But it's tough to say. Grocery could be a good one, grocery. So Easter eggs right now, probably not too late. But I think the supermarket's added a 6 limit now. So I was able to buy a load of Easter eggs, and I wish I bought more actually. I was able to fill up 2 or 3 trolleys. I think there's 50 eggs per trolley roughly. But I wish I had a van, because I'd taken there were 3 big pallets in Asda of these things, and I bought all 3 pallets, so I had enough room. And then one day I went to Asda again and just had 20 in my basket, in my trolley. And then the lady was like, no, it's a 6 limit. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm not going to bother them. So, yeah. Apparently, a lot of the supermarkets have added a limit now. But yeah, grocery could be a good one. So, got to watch out for expiry dates, but yeah. Does it sell naan bread as well, the big one that I sell from? No. So, and also, guys, when you first start out as well, there's and again, I don't like health and beauty, but there's so many opportunities out there on these non-VAT sites, like Stylovana, for example, which is heavily sourced, but I don't buy from them because I can't get a VAT invoice. So, it's you can get some good deals on there. Not that I recommend health and beauty, but I guess the downside to only sourcing from beginner sites is that you tend to only be up with beginners, competing with beginners, and they tend to tank prices more. So, which is kind of crazy. So, because I guess it's scared money, or they want their money back quicker, or they're worried it's not going to sell, things like that. So, and that's one of the things you learn as well, just to be patient, I think. Yeah. Do you do much seasonal stuff? I don't do a huge amount of seasonal stuff, but I need to. That's another huge opportunity. So I do Q4. I've done Easter this year, but there are so many different seasonal and holiday sales, like you say, Christmas, Halloween, summer, winter. Obviously, summer sun creams come around pretty well. I've got a stockpile of sun creams from last year that absolutely tanked on me. Actually, I've been holding. There's back to school is a big one in America. I think it's probably still good here as well. So backpacks, kind of notebooks, all the kind of stuff like that can be big. Yeah, Valentine's, Mother's Day. There was actually a gift set that I was looking at, a Sanctuary Spa gift set, and I was looking at the Keeper chart for it, and you could see the sales spiked massively at Christmas, which makes sense. But they also massively spiked at Mother's Day, so I was like, damn it, I missed a trick there. I could have, sold those at Mother's Day, and obviously Father's Day. So I think it's worth having a calendar open and looking at all the different seasons and sales and things that happen throughout the year. And if you can, try and source some stuff for that. It's tricky because you've got a very limited window on a lot of this stuff. So let's say you bought stuff for like St. Patrick's Day, for example. Some green T-shirt, I don't know, whatever it is. You've kind of got a very limited window to sell those for a premium before basically no one wants them, and you have to hold them till next year. But I think there's good money, by the way. You need storage for it. But buying all these seasonal items, let's say in January you buy all the Christmas decorations, the Christmas trees, things like that, and then you hold them for a year, and then you sell them when Christmas comes around again. And you can do that for Christmas, Easter, Halloween, because all this stuff goes on super discount because the retailers just want rid of it. All these different in supermarkets, you'll often see that like right now they've started all adding garden stuff in, like the seeds, the spray things, whatever it is for garden stuff, and all that stuff will go on sale later in the summer when we start going out of the sort of the gardening season. So you can pick up all that stuff. So there's huge opportunities there to do that, but you kind of need the capital to buy it and then be able to hold it as well for 9 months for the next season or year till next season. So huge opportunities there, and I don't even scratch the surface on them. There's so many opportunities. What's my ratio between OA and RA? I'm like 99% OA with a tiny bit of RA. RA is good when you can walk into a store and there's a bunch of stuff that you can just buy straight off the shelves and it's all profitable. It is soul destroying when you're driving around, wasting petrol, wasting time, going to all the stores, and there's nothing there. So that's why I do like RA, but sometimes it's just soul destroying, and that's why I don't do it that often. So yeah. I want to look into selling and buying the high ticket, more expensive items. I think it's a good one to get into. Yeah, definitely. Because a lot of people avoid it, they're scared. So, but I fear you fear the refund. Sure, you just got to accept it. Refunds happen, and yeah, because they'll hurt even more when the product is expensive, larger. Yeah, it does. So you just need to factor that into your business model, that you're going to get returns, and you just hope that. Look, most people are not going to damage an item. Saying that, I've had some horrible returns, but it also depends what category that's in. So electronics, for example, if you're going to go high-end electronics, that could be a tricky one because electronics have a ridiculous return rate. I've had £200-300 toothbrushes returned, and they're all used and crusty, full of toothpaste and stuff. And what am I going to do with this at this point? Basically just throw it in the bin. I've had breast pumps returned, used. They were 50 quid a pop. I had 6 or 7 of those people returned. Had to throw those in the bin. Worst return, I sold a DJI mini drone. It was like the top combo package. That was like £850, and some guy crashed it and returned it, and Amazon obviously wouldn't cover it, so that was 900 quid essentially down the drain. Fortunately, I got that on a misprice. So it was Argos was meant to be selling it for 828, but they mispriced it to 228 or something like that. So I was able to get 4 of those. So actually, once I even though the drone was damaged, I was able to sell the drone. The controller had one of these. It was a fancy controller with a screen and stuff, and it had all the extra batteries. So once I sold all that stuff on eBay, I was able to get my money back. So I broke even on that one. But obviously, if you're buying higher end items, so yeah, you just need to factor that in. It is kind of a downside, I guess. But for the reason you just mentioned, you fear the refunds, is a reason why it's good to get into, because everyone fears it. So doing those kind of the big bulky items no one wants to do, the awkward items like selling mountain bikes, or the expensive items that have higher returns could get good opportunities there if you've got high enough ROI. But yeah, excuse me, guys. Let's have a drink quickly. Can you give me an example of a product of yours that is one that is good for constant replenishment? Let me think. yeah. I mean, I can't really give it to you because it's too good. It makes too much money, and it's also a slower seller, so it can't have too many people on it. Trying to think of a good replenisher. I know there's guys out there that have got great leads on like vitamins and stuff, and they replenish those over and over. You can replenish anything that sells on Amazon. So like I said, I don't like health and beauty, but yeah, there's certain health and beauty items you can replenish. I don't know really. Yeah, can I give an example? Let me think about that one because I just can't give you what I sell. And yeah, when you first start out, by the way, like it took me like a year and a half before I found a really good replenishment. So because that again comes down to like looking at the specific like sales cycles and stuff, and you realize, oh, this item goes on sale every 3 months, and then I can buy it every 3 months and then sell it. So yeah. So for Q4, when do you start sourcing? So last year I started sourcing way too late. I should have been stocking up middle of the year in prep for Q4, because I had a really good Q4, mainly December. Actually, October, November was a bit meh, and then December it just went through the roof. But November I sold most of my stock before Christmas. So to like the last few weeks of November, all my good items went out. So I should have kept the prices way higher, and yeah, I should have bought more, and I should have started doing it sort of August, September time. Start stocking up on all the items. So perfumes, for example, gift sets, anything that's good for Christmas. Everything sells more at Christmas, but obviously there's certain items that go through the roof. And look at the Keeper chart and see what prices those things have gone to, and then just set your prices. So there was something that I was able to replenish, somewhat replenish from supermarkets. And I think I was selling them for I was paying £10 for this item, and I think it was 10. Yeah, it was £10, and I was selling it for like £24.99. But then the price just went up to like £29.99, and then I think I even sold a few for like £39.99. And there was a perfume that I sold, and I think I was selling most of them for £109.99, £120. But when I got to my final unit, I was like, oh, let's put it up to £150. I got a sale, so yeah. But yeah, start sourcing earlier the better, basically, definitely. Yeah, if you can. And you'll probably do Christmas and realise I should have bought way more. I think everyone thinks that every year. They're like, oh, I'm prepared for Christmas this year, and then you run out of stock and you're like, I wasn't prepared at all. The sales ranks are way higher than I expected, the sales volumes. So, but yeah. Yes, Lewis, don't buy vitamins from BetterVits. That was a great little lead for a while, BetterVits, apart from the fact they wouldn't give you an invoice. But yeah, those guys must make an absolute fortune on Amazon. But yeah, that was a great little one for a little while. Sort of, you couldn't get a VAT invoice, but for beginners it was great. And vitamins, sales volumes on those are just insane. So if you can find a good source of vitamins, great. So checking newsletters, it seems like there's sales all the time. How do you know when it's a big sale, not just the store selling overpriced items at a discount? You just learn that over time, and you'll know what, if you're selling like an iPhone or whatever, you'll know that what's a good sale and what's not a good sale when you look at the sales over time. So that just takes practice basically, and then obviously another good way is just look whether you can make a profit on it as well on Amazon. So yeah, this just takes practice. That's why you need to learn the category. You can't do it all. That's why I say you got to specialise, because you can't know it all. It's impossible. You've got no idea. So yeah, that's why I say specialise, and then you will know. You'll know the brands. You know the sales cycles. You'll know exactly that item is a good price or it's not a good price. So, or that brand, for example. Off topic, do you play any games? Yeah, I play Destiny on Xbox with my friends every Friday night. like one time a week. As you get older, you play fewer and fewer games. But yeah, that's our game. We've been playing that game exclusively now for like since Destiny came out, with the occasional Titanfall in between. But that's a dead game now. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then me and my mates do board gaming nights every sort of 3 months or so. We play like Arkham Horror, Gloomhaven, things like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it on the games front. So I don't have time for games really. Too busy hustling. So I've got a PlayStation I bought. I've literally not even taken it out of the box. I should just sell it. So I've got the Xbox. Just play once a week. I've got a. I can't see it here. There's a box just behind me. I bought myself a Meta Quest 3. It was actually free from all my rewards points and stuff from a certain website. So that was a nice freebie. I literally put it on, played with it for like 10 minutes. It's just been sat in the box the entire time. So that's such a waste of money. Just don't have time for that kind of thing really. But yeah, you get some nice rewards doing Amazon FBA. So I've got a ridiculous amount of Amex points. I've had have I got them here? No, free AirPods, free cosmetic items, the Meta Quest. I've got a bunch of nano leaves everywhere that are free as well. So all from reward points and stuff. So yeah. Cool. Any more questions, guys? We've got about 7 minutes left. If you want to get the final few questions in, then back to Xmas. What would you recommend getting ungated on for Q4? Being hazmat set. Yeah, perfumes are massive. Gift sets, perfumes. Some gift sets have perfumes in them. Like they'll have like a tiny, and that's really annoying actually. I had some items that I was selling and it'd be like, it was a Molten Brown item, and it was 2 kind of big bottles of soap, or whatever we call it, bath stuff, and like 1 tiny little 10ml bottle of perfume. But because that perfume's flammable, that entire package is now hazmat, which is a total pain. And yeah, I mean, you just ungate as you go. If you get in early enough and just create the listing, you'll see whether you need to ungate it or not, and you can use your invoices. So preparation is key, and that's why you should kind of buy it early, get prepared. And going to perfumes, for example, you'll find that certain sites out there do massive sales middle of the year for the perfumes, because I guess they're restocking them for like new boxes or new fragrances and things like that for when the sort of the Christmas period comes. So they kind of clear out the old stock and bring in the new stock. And sometimes this stuff's just like, it's the same perfume that's been around for like 10 years. Like Hugo Boss, for example. Not that you can sell Hugo Boss, but like they've had that same fragrance for like 20 years. But the packaging just changes. So there's no reason you can't sell that. So yeah, you can get those kind of thing mid-year, and just be prepared and then ungate as you need it. So, what do you use Amex points on? Usually, no, I haven't spent any. No, that's not true. I bought a first class ticket to Mallorca with BA for 40,000 points. When I say first class, it's like premium economy. So I'm going there for a wedding. That was 40,000 points, but that was free, so that was nice. And the rest of them I've saved up. I've got approximate, I think like 400k points now, something like that on Amex, something around there. Not everything I can buy is on Amex, which kind of sucks, but where I can use Amex, I do. And I'm just saving it, and when I go to like Australia or America, I'll just use it to get like a first class or a business class flight. Yeah, I think I did actually convert some a while back when there was a good deal to do it to Nectar points. Actually, now I think about it, I think I converted 200,000 or 300,000 points. Because of COVID, they did, you obviously couldn't fly as much, so I think they give you a better offer on Amex to Nectar. So I did that and got like £600-700 of Nectar points. I can't remember exactly, so that was quite nice. So yeah, I just kind of save them, accumulate them, and I'll use them for flights. So I think flights, I'm no expert on Amex points and stuff, but I think flights are the best bang for your buck. The worst bang for your buck is just converting it straight to cash. I think you get like every point's worth like 0.4 of a cent or something, or 0.4 of a pence. But if you use flights, you can get like 2, 3, 4, 5 pence per mile. So not everything I can buy is on Amex, and like I said, I did actually convert some during the old COVID period. Shout out to Spence, he put me onto the Nectar kind of point It was like, what, you had to go from Nectar to BA, and then BA to, no, sorry, Amex to BA miles, and then from there to Nectar. There was like a good conversion rate. So, I converted a decent chunk. Yeah, so, yeah. I got business to London. It was just a normal seat with no, no next to me. Okay, well, yeah, it was free anyway, but yeah, it's not first class. They call it first class, but it's on an A2A sleeper. Yeah. What do you mean by that, Lewis? Actually, A2A sleeper. Don't know what you mean by that. But yeah, thanks for joining us, Lewis. By the way. So, time for one more question, guys, or two more questions, and I'll call it a day. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. I've had some really good questions, by the way, guys. I really appreciate you coming on, and you've asked some really good questions there, so I really do appreciate that. And we've taken up the full hour, which is awesome. So, but yeah, time for one or two more, and then we'll call it a day. And I'm going to go to Sainsbury's and get some food. So I've got a ridiculous amount of Sainsbury's vouchers from Top Cashback. So each for free, which is kind of great. So any more questions, anyone? Or should we call it a night? I'll just wait for a few minutes and then see if someone comes up with one. Thanks for the live call. Oh, I noticed there's a delay between this and thing. Was great. Yeah, I appreciate you coming on. And yeah, we'll try and do this every 2 weeks or so. And you guys think of some questions in the next few weeks, then we can jump. You can ask them next time. Yeah, absolutely, Lewis. Yeah, racking up the purchase on A2A AMX points was. Yeah, I agree. Same for me. Obviously, A2H has been terrible recently, so which is lucky because that originally Amazon to Amazon was like my primary source of stuff when I first started. So thank God I didn't end up relying on that because it's been absolutely terrible. There's been a few okay deals over here and there. I've got a bunch of that. For anyone who's in the know, there was those noodles, like 40 packs of noodles for 40p or something. So I've got a bunch of those down there I need to pack. But yeah, it's been pretty bad overall. Yeah, no problem. Card Collectibles UK. I appreciate you asking those questions. It's been awesome. Thanks, guys. I'm going to call it a day there then. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, I totally forgot, by the way, actually, just before you all go. I'm doing this giveaway for... and I think there's a link in the description. So you're getting the giveaway is for what I call the Ultimate Amazon Starter Kit. So you get... I bought them already. 2 printers, so anyone who wants to get into Amazon, I've got them here ready to go. You got that, you get label holder, you get 2 hours of coaching with me, and you get some labels as well. So anyone who wants to get into Amazon or is existing in Amazon, that's a giveaway I'm doing. It ends in 120 days or so, but you can enter. Hopefully there'll be a link in the description for you guys to join that. If not, you can DM me and I'll send you the link. But yeah, jump in on that, guys. My first giveaway. So the software to do the giveaways was ridiculously expensive. So hopefully it works out all right. But yeah, guys, thanks very much.